I like this. I like being the intro. This is fun. Microsoft Ignite 2021 just happened, and there were some things. There were some cool new things, there were some lukewarm things, and there was a bunch of, we've announced this before, we're going to announce it again because we haven't delivered those things yet, things. So let's dive into the biggest announcements in Microsoft 365. This is the MS Refresh Show. Hi there, and welcome to the Matt and Sean Refresh Show. This is episode 13 for the week of March 1st, 2021. And holy crap, it's March. Again. I'm Sean Bugler on the west coast of the US. Matt Wade, who, as you can probably tell, isn't here right now, is still on the east coast of the US, I think. But he needed this week off to finish up some projects that he's currently working on. If you're a regular viewer, this episode is going to feel a little bit different. And if you're not, hi! Subscribe for more content just like this. My co-host and I post regular updates on the Microsoft 365 universe. This isn't an ad for the show, unless it's working, in which case it is an ad. Please subscribe. Setting that aside. So let's dive right into the new stuff we saw this week. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella set an aspirational tone to start things off, introducing the company's next-generation mixed reality collaboration platform,
Microsoft Mesh.
Setting aside the mixed reality keynote and the Pokemon Go HoloLens demo, it's easiest to think about what Mesh can be as sort of a preview of what augmented reality Microsoft Teams meetings could be, allowing people to meet virtually in a way that simulates presence and incorporates space. What's particularly notable here, beyond the whole hosting meetings virtually with PEG people, is that Mesh is being designed to support a slew of device platforms, including HoloLens, obviously, Oculus, smartphones, even desktop computers. They're really trying to cover all the bases. If you happen to have a $3,500 HoloLens 2, you can actually try out Mesh today. And if you happen to have two of them, DM me privately and I'll happily take one off of your hands. It's incredibly early in this whole AR, VR as a normal businessy thing is concerned. But given the clear investments Microsoft is making in the space, whether it's HoloLens, SharePoint Spaces, and now Mesh, it's worth keeping an eye on nonetheless. Ooh, we're shaking things up in Outlook land, it seems. The Outlook calendar is getting a new view for the first time in as far back as I can remember, with the new board view. The reality is that the things someone needs to make decisions on how they spend their time often involve more than just what's already on their calendar. The board view will allow users to incorporate Microsoft to-do tasks, goals, other calendars, files, sticky notes, all in a fully customizable interface. Board view is coming to Outlook on the web first, and it's only coming to commercial and education customers. According to Microsoft, the rollout has already begun. There was no word on when government clouds might see this feature roll out, but we'll be keeping a close eye out. Also announced, suggested times when scheduling a meeting in Outlook is set to start rolling out this month on Outlook for iOS and Android. Like it works on the desktop, the feature will use AI to suggest times when participants are available, but this time in a format optimized for the small screen. Interestingly, Microsoft goes on to say, quote, Outlook Mobile will use AI to understand the meeting owner's commitments, priorities, and preferences, and to suggest times to meet when attendees are free, even when the meeting owner isn't, end quote. It seems a little bold, but I'm interested to see how that plays out. Microsoft announced a brand new way to incorporate anyone, internally or externally, into an individual team's channel without adding them to the team itself.
I'm excited to announce Microsoft Teams Connect.
The internal sharing seems pretty straightforward, just like the way private channels work today. Spinning up a shared channel will create a brand new SharePoint team site behind the scenes. So that's probably going to have some fun governance side effects. And you'll only be able to see the shared channel you've been invited to, rather than seeing all the channels that exist within a team. External sharing, however, details are really light right now. We have confirmed that inviting somebody externally to join a shared channel will be distinctly different from inviting someone to a team as a guest, and instead will rely on federation to bridge the two tenants together. This will allow shared channels to appear right alongside internal teams within your tenant, so no more signing out and signing back in or anything like that. There's a ton we don't know right now, so we're going to keep a close eye on this one. But Microsoft says Teams Connect is available today in private preview, and will roll out more generally later this calendar year. A few updates regarding specific Teams meeting experiences were also announced, some of which we've heard about as far back as last Ignite, but all of which now have pretty demos and firmed up release details. First, PowerPoint Live in Teams. Instead of opening up a PowerPoint deck and just sharing your screen, you can now pick a file under the new PowerPoint Live section of the new updated Share Content pop-out in Teams, which is apparently also coming soon. From there, you'll have access to hotly anticipated features like presenter view, so you can keep an eye on your talking points and notes. And because the presentation is uploaded into Teams, you can easily hand off control of the slides to your co-presenters. Beyond that, Microsoft has also clearly been working on ways to incorporate seeing meeting participants while sharing a presentation. I know I personally depend on being able to see my audience when I'm presenting something, which is why there's a picture of a whole crowd behind this camera. But that's difficult with current presentation options. They've prepared a few different view options, so you'll have some flexibility organizing your screen the way you want it. Uploading the presentation also means Microsoft can optimize to really showcase images, animations, and transitions in a way that just isn't possible when you're limited to opening a slide deck and sharing your screen. It even opens the door to new accessibility options, like a new high contrast view for slides that they've announced is also coming later this year. Another big one, presenter mode. Announced at Ignite last year, Microsoft is just about ready to put this one in our hands. The idea here is to keep you as the focal point during a presentation, rather than the disembodied voice behind a PowerPoint slide deck. They're including 3 styles to start. Standout, which will cut out your silhouette and drop it right in front of the presented content. Side by side, which places your camera directly alongside the slide deck. And reporter, which will give you a slick Daily Show look and feel. Now, where have we seen that one before? We've also got dynamic views inbound, which will intelligently rearrange the meeting screen as people join, turn on their videos, start to speak, or begin to present in a meeting. It's all being built with an eye towards being anything other than that exhausting Brady Bunch collection of squares. Sure, you've got together mode, but it's setting that aside. It's nice to see work being done that doesn't just throw all of what we'd already know out the window. This too is something that was announced a while back. Other notable Teams features include Endpoint Transfer, a super lame name for a really useful feature. Early next quarter, you'll be able to seamlessly transfer your audio between devices mid-call. So from laptop to phone, phone to laptop, laptop to laptop? Low data mode is rolling out now, allowing users to cap the amount of data that will be used during Teams calls, as well as establish different settings based on the type of network you happen to be on. So the setting can be turned always on, or you can have it set only on when you're on a cellular network. This is particularly useful for those of you with, limited connectivity or stupid data caps. The ability to disable attendee video during meetings is coming. Basically just hard mute, but for video feeds, meeting organizers will be able to outright block participants from turning their cameras on. If only. Invite-only meeting options, so only those explicitly invited to join a meeting will be able to connect automatically. Everyone else gets automatically dumped into digital purgatory, aka the lobby. An updated Teams mobile experience, complete with a refreshed look and feel, including new headers, icons, styling, and the ability to automatically switch to dark mode when setting your device appearance setting to dark. The mobile app will be also picking up the ability to access files stored in Teams even when you're offline. Super useful if you were going anywhere. As with many phone app things, the updated mobile experience is coming first to iOS, and Android will follow soon after. Live reactions in Microsoft Teams meetings are officially here, allowing participants to express their enthusiasm for your, I'm sure, riveting slide deck with thumbs up and hearts, because Lord knows none of us are actually smiling these days. Documents encrypted using Microsoft Information Protection now finally support real-time co-authoring. The activity, which includes support for autosave, is supported through Office apps, the Office web apps, and Teams. Microsoft Teams webinars have arrived. While there's some solid functionality on display, it seems the focus was on making scheduling webinars a lot more like scheduling just a regular Teams meeting, but with a little more oomph. For tenants E3 and above, you can welcome up to 1,000 interactive participants, meaning people can interact with polls, chat, turn on their cameras, be unmuted. And as for the maximum limit on viewer-only attendees, that's being ratcheted up to 20,000 viewers. Custom attendee registration pages will also be part of the experience on day one, and according to Microsoft, you'll be able to add them for both meetings and webinars. You'll even be able to include specific questions and data types on the registration page, which ought to be a welcome addition. Notching registrations is just half the battle though, right? Later this year, you'll also be able to use that registration and attendee information directly with Dynamics 365 Marketing to do something as simple as sending a thanks for coming email, or perhaps something more complex and markety. Setting aside complex marketing workflows, you might just want to know how the meeting was received, how engaged were your meeting attendees. Meeting organizers will have access to significantly improved attendee reporting, answering questions like who showed up and how long did they stay. The experience is both in Teams and downloadable. Let's talk Viva. Microsoft Viva, which was literally announced like 3 weeks ago, already has some new information available, including release dates. If you haven't heard, Viva is Microsoft's new employee experience platform. Built on top of Microsoft Teams and SharePoint, it's a collection of tools for employee engagement, learning, well-being, and knowledge discovery, broken out into 4 key modules. For more information on Viva in general, click here to watch our overview video that we did the other week. Viva Connections, which provides a curated company-branded experience including news, conversations, and other resources for employees, will become available generally this month. Microsoft also announced a mobile experience will be made available for Viva Connect in summer of 2021. Viva Connections is available for no additional charge for existing Microsoft 365 and Office 365 customers, because it's basically just SharePoint plus Yammer with a little bit of Teams sprinkled on top. Coming in April, Viva Learning is a Teams app experience and offers up a central hub for learning resources with planned integrations with key learning management systems like Cornerstone and content platforms like LinkedIn Learning. Surprise! On the topic of pricing, they remain a little coy, but it's likely there's going to be some incentivized element to encourage LinkedIn Learning licensing. Also coming in April, another Teams app experience, Viva Insights. This is where Microsoft is funneling all of their well-being efforts. That includes that virtual commute experience you might have seen them announce at Ignite last year. There's a limited public preview available now where you can tap into a limited collection of personal insights, similar to what you might have received in My Analytics, with a bias towards action. Things like blocking off time for yourself or meditating. Manager and executive, or org leader as they're calling it, insights will also be available, but they're going to be made available for an additional fee. Lastly, in the Viva world, it's Viva Topics. A product of Microsoft's Project Cortex efforts, it's ostensibly an automatic knowledge service, helping organize content and expert resources into one easy-to-access destination. Think wikis, but no one has to write them. This module became generally available last month as an add-on distinctly separate from its sister project, Syntex, running around $5 per user per month. Finally, a few key announcements out of Power Platform that I'm particularly excited about. First, Microsoft is bringing robotic process automation, or RPA, to all Windows users with the new Power Automate desktop application. While Microsoft's investments in RPA aren't new, the focus here is equal parts surprising and exciting. The idea of the new desktop app is essentially to allow users to automate their personal desktop experiences with macros. By recording repetitive actions from your desktop across multiple applications like SharePoint, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Outlook, and even third-party non-Microsoft Office applications, even websites, you can then replay the automation whenever you need it. And the best part about it, it's a free part of Windows moving forward, no additional licensing required. It's important to emphasize this is a distinctly different set of tools than Power Automate on the web, but automation tools at any level are worth paying attention to. Just as we reported last week, Microsoft has formally announced Power FX, a new low-code programming language designed with the intent to become the dominant language across all of the Power Platform. Based on Excel, Power FX is actually a rebranding of the expression language that Power Apps Canvas apps use today. To borrow Microsoft's own words, today's announcement is less about a product that's been built and more about a statement of direction. The plan is over the next 24 months to begin to extract the work already done in Power Apps Canvas apps and to get started integrating it into other Power Platform services like Power Virtual Agents, Dataverse, even Power BI, though it is important to note that this won't be replacing things like, and specifically Power BI as an example, like M or DAX functions. They're going to coexist. This won't be the last Ignite where we hear about the development of PowerFX, but it's to hear the vision encapsulated. I'm incredibly excited to see how this evolves and what it really means for the community at large. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's all the news. There's no more news. That's actually not true. There's plenty of other details and features that were mentioned this week, but that's a good summary of the big impact stuff many of you probably care about. To dive deep into the details of all the announcements, you'll want to check out the Ignite Book of News. We'll drop a link in the description below. Like last Ignite, it's a great webpage with a ton of content detailing all the big changes coming your way. Way more than I could ever cover in a succinct video like this. So kudos to the team on that. I think it's a great idea. We're still waiting on session slides with deliverable dates and estimates for various apps and services. Last Ignite, a couple of Microsoft folks actually went out and grabbed those slides based on community asks. So hopefully something similar will happen this time as well, and if it does, you'll hear it from us. And with that, thank you so much for watching. A like and a subscribe is sincerely appreciated. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to future news updates on Microsoft 365, the Power Platform, and more. Thank you so much, and good luck digesting it all. It's a lot of stuff.